My topic is classification of gait abnormalities using transfer learning with EMG scaleogram. So basically this, as we know that in these days gait abnormalities are increasing. There are more accidents, there are more cases of arthritis, there are more slip disc. So what we are doing is we are making a diagnostic system. So now you'll ask that there are so many diagnostic systems out there. What are we doing different? So the thing is we are using EMG. Now many use EMG, but when we go to classify using an EMG, so what we have is we have many steps, like we pre-process data, we do all of that stuff, and then we have to find features. Then from features we need to extract some and all that. What we are doing is, what we are proposing in this one is we are converting the signals into an image form and then classifying it. And how it's done, I'll come to that in a minute. So right now I'll just show you these are the EMG sensors, how we are taking it. So the two muscles, tibialis anterior and medial gastrocnemius, these are basically your calf and shank. So these muscles are, we put our EMG sensors at these places and ask the patient to walk. So the basic flowchart of the study is we are acquiring the signal, we are just putting some just small filtering, and then after that we are using wavelet transform, and from wavelet we are generating scalograms, and then we are classifying those scalograms, because when we have taken the wavelet, so we have broken it into components. With scaleogram what happened is we can precisely see frequency, time and all the intricate changes which we cannot see from the regular signal. So that's why what we are doing is we are classifying this scaleogram. And just a brief of transfer learning is that we take a pre-trained data set. So this data set would be like ImageNet or any data set. It's trained on something and it is pre-trained with millions and millions of parameters. What we do is we import it and then we embed our own network with it to improve the classification accuracy. So just briefly, I'll go towards the EMG waveform. If you can notice, so these are the patterns that we found. So as you can see in the first one, it is a healthy person. So you can see a proper uniform motion. But when we go to hemiplegic patient, what we can see is, we can easily see that there are breaks or some jagged peaks. So what are these? These are tremors or improper firing of neurons. Then we took data from rheumatoid arthritis patient. So there's less movement in the upper side, means front side is less movement because he's having pain while walking. So he's not putting all of his weight on that, he's putting his weight on the back. Next we have this PIVD, piriformis syndrome. So basically this person has a backbone problem. So we can see that there is an increased amplitude in the front side. Why is that? Because this person is limping, like he's putting his weight on one foot. So that's why he's having similarly, but in osteoarthritis we are getting completely random signals. That's because in osteoarthritis, the bones they collide with each other, and that causes a lot of pain. So these are the kind of, and now we are translating them into a scaleogram signals. We are doing it, and with this we obtain thousands of scaleogram images from the patients, and then we tried it with transfer learning. We checked our only CNN, then it's 91, and then we applied different neural networks. We checked other parameters also apart from accuracy. So with DenseNet large, we got 97.5%. Now, one of the things that I have not mentioned here, it happened recently, is we were in a hospital and there was an old lady came. So we took the EMG reading from that, and our algorithm, it showed osteoarthritis. And then when the physician came, he inspected her. So he also said that it is osteoarthritis. So that's one of that. It's not theoretical proof yet. We are still increasing our subject size because it's very difficult to get patients. Like we can easily take data from healthy people. I have like 15 or 20 healthy subjects. I already have the data. But it's very difficult because of ethical implications. So it's very difficult to find patient, but we are gradually increasing the sample size. But this serves as a pilot study that we can use scaleogram for that. And why is it novel? Because what I have checked in different places is that scaleogram has been used to classify other types of signals. They have classified ECG signals, they have classified EEG signals, but I have not seen many EMG signal classification. So what I am doing is we are trying to see the efficiency of EMG scaleogram, and this is the future work that is currently being done in our research group. So basically we are now moving into hand gesture classification, like we have that will be later used for prosthesis, and then Right now what we are doing also is we are taking EEG signal and then hand EMG signal, we are correlating it. We are seeing if we can correlate and classify them using scaleogram, and we are also going to work on motor imagery tasks. But this is our basic research. Thank you so much.